Lately, I've been thinking a lot about my place in the world and what that really even means to me. Am I doing the right things? Am I in the right place? There's a quote from an American poet by the name of Thomas Merton. He says, "We are already one, and we imagine we are not. And what we have to recover is our original unity. Whatever we have to be is what we are." A couple of weekends ago, we took a trip to the Alpujarras, which is a region of mountain villages located in southern Spain. This part of Spain is full of history and hidden gems and nature as well. Being up there literally feels like an oasis. It's an escape from all things that are distractions. I think there's something healing about just listening to the sounds of nature and just sitting in it and letting it consume you. The intention of this trip was to reconnect and to reground to ourselves as well as to nature. During this trip, I also got the chance to journal. One of the prompts that I really found the most interesting to write about was, what are the things that make us feel human? Connection. The most fundamental truth we have as human beings. Right now, we are more connected than ever. Within seconds, we have the potential to make connections with people from all over the globe, just from the comfort of our home, sitting behind a screen. But contrarily, it feels like we're further and further away from each other. What does this word connection truly mean to us? What usually comes to mind are the relationships we have romantically, or with our friends or our family. But most commonly, our understanding of connection usually ends there. A lot of the relationships we have on a daily basis are transactional to some extent. In this society, it's almost like if you're not providing something or making a certain amount of money, then you're unworthy of other people's time or respect. If you think about it, we have always been taught that our value as humans is based on how much work we can do. To me, this seems to be the cause for a lack of recognition or appreciation, or even the desire to engage in connections outside of our own personal network. But how can we relearn to extend our care to someone that we see on the street or someone that may look different than us, just like we would to a friend, just like we would to a loved one. Maybe this all began when we lost our connection with nature. We began to see plants and animals as objects, rather than beings created by the same source that created us. There's this book I'm reading called Braiding Sweetgrass. It's written by a Native American botanist and author, Robin Wall Kimmerer. In her indigenous language of Potawatomi, they refer to all living things or parts of nature as verbs. For example, when we hear the word waterfall, it's usually perceived as a noun, but what a noun does is just reduce it to a thing. In the Potawatomi language, it transfers to be a waterfall. I think this subtle change in grammar allows for us to be taken back to that moment. The feeling of the wind and the mist that's created by the water falling. I think we often put a barrier to the connection to nature and even the connection to ourselves in the way we talk. And the only purpose this barrier has is to distance us further and further away from nature. And it absolves us of any moral or ethical responsibility to nature, which eventually opens the door to exploitation. We humans are sometimes very reluctant to learn the language and the culture of other humans, let alone other species. But there are so many possibilities, so many different perspectives and wisdom that we can learn through the eyes of others. There are teachers all around us. We just have to be willing to listen.